Hi guys, thank you for stopping by Grains in Small Places. I'm Kara, and today I'm going to show you how we use these fun little pans here to make some pumpkin donuts. So come along with me and I'll show you how it's done, and we're going to do it with fresh milled flour, of course. Okay, and we're going to start out by preheating our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we're going to weigh out our wheat berries. I'm going to weigh 180 grams of soft white wheat berries. You could use a different variety, maybe spelt would be probably delicious, or even half spelt and half soft white would be really good. But this is going to be probably about a cup or so of soft white wheat berries. And when I mill this will yield me about 1.5 cups of fresh milled flour from the soft white wheat. And I'm going to take it over to the mill here and just adjust the stones and make it a little bit tighter so that I can get a nice fine flour, which is great for cookies and muffins and pastries. And all right, we're done. And I'm going to take our fresh milled flour on over to the work surface here. And to this beautiful fresh milled flour, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and about 2 teaspoons of a pumpkin spice mix. You can make it yourself, or you can buy it already pre-made, whichever you prefer. And then a half a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to mix these dry ingredients together. And then to this, I'm going to add some of the wet ingredients. Now, if you prefer, you could mix this in a separate bowl, but I went ahead and just put in 3/4 cup of pumpkin puree, which is about 180 grams. And then to that, I added a half a cup of brown sugar, which is about 100 grams, and a 1/4 cup of sugar, which is about 50 grams. And I mixed all of this together, and we also are going to put 2 eggs in. Now, I like to grab my eggs and put them out earlier so that they're room temperature, or if you have farm fresh eggs already on the counter, of course you could use those. But when you use them room temperature, I don't have to worry about them being cold when I'm mixing it in. And then when I put it in the oven, it kind of gives it a little shock. So it just incorporates a little bit better to be room temperature. If you forget this step, it'll still work out. They'll be great donuts. Don't worry about it. And then we're going to use a half a teaspoon of vanilla. I just measure with my heart here. I like to make my own homemade vanilla, and I do have a recipe video on how to do that if you would like to make your own homemade vanilla. And then I'm going to take a 1/4 cup of butter, which is about 57 grams, and I'm going to melt that really quickly in the microwave. And then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup, or about 57 grams of, you could use olive oil, but today I was using avocado oil, so whichever baking oil you prefer is fine. And then we're going to pour this in, and we're going to just mix it all together so there's no dry ingredients left. The eggs are broken up, and everything is cohesive and one nice batter. My family loves pumpkin donuts, pumpkin muffins, pumpkin anything, and we love it year round. So whenever I can score some pumpkin for a good price, because oftentimes you probably have noticed that pumpkin is not always on sale. And also, I'm not always able to find pumpkin in the store until the fall. But I love when I'm able to find some and I can find a good price on it, which is what happened today, which is what inspired me to make these pumpkin donuts. And you can see how much I'm mixing it. Obviously, if we were using regular white all-purpose flour, we would have a risk of this becoming way, overmixed or tough and chewy. But when we're using fresh milled flour, it can handle a lot more mixing than regular white flour. So this is ready to go, and I'm going to set it to the side, and I'm going to grab my handy dandy little donut pans. And I bought these on Amazon. They're pretty affordable. I really like this kind. The non-stick works fantastic, as you'll see later. And also, it's a little bit heavier duty or thicker. And another great thing I love is they fit in my oven. I can put both of them in there, and they fit in my tiny oven. If you've seen before, sometimes that restricts me on what I can make. Now, I have accidentally forgot to oil these pans before, and they've actually come out pretty great. I only had one that was a little bit slightly harder to get out, but it wasn't that bad. It still remained whole. Anyway, so I still, just for insurance purposes, like to spray this with oil. You can go ahead and just spoon these right in, which is what I did when I first bought these pans many times, and they come out just fine. They taste delicious. But for a helpful tip, you can buy these little disposable piping bags, and you just pipe them right into these circles, and it goes so much quicker and smoother. So that's what we do now. So Matt's going to go ahead and put this in the piping bag. He loves to do all things piping, so I'm perfectly fine with having him help us out here today. He's just going to put all the batter into this piping bag. And if you are interested in either the pans or the piping bag or the mill or any of the things that I'm talking about, I'll put a link to any of those in the description box below. Also in the description box below, I will post a link to the recipe, which is a printable recipe, and you can go in and print it off, have it for your records. You don't have to write everything down while I'm saying it. Also, you'll find a link to my Facebook page and my blog, grainsandsmallplaces.net, where you can find this recipe and a whole bunch of other recipes, all fresh milled flour. There's also some dinner ideas in there. Every week I'm adding more videos and I'm adding more recipes. So he's just kind of squeezing it all down to the bottom and then going to cut the tip off. And I would say probably about 3/4 of the way up. A 3/4 inch of the way up is what he cut off. And that gives, we don't even need a tip or anything for this. You just pipe it right out from the bag. And it just makes the perfect circle for the donuts. And they just come out looking so cute. So I'll show you what the other one ends up looking like once these are done. And he does just such a nice job piping them in these little circles. I can't complain. We usually get about 12 donuts in this with this recipe, and as you can see, there's just a little bit left, so he's just adding a little bit more just so we don't have to throw any batter away, because who wants to waste that, right? Okay, and into the oven they go, and they're going to go in the oven for about 12 to 15 minutes or so, or until you can put a toothpick in and pull it out and it comes out clean. Then you know they're ready. Okay, so while those are baking, let's check in on the cabin edition progress. So if you see here, this is where the window was, and it's now into where their, what was closet, it will end up being a hallway, but Matt's putting in the new electric service panel here to tie all of the old electric into the new electric. Excuse all the mess and tools over here, but our truck is in the shop getting a new transmission. So that's expensive, but this is all the new plumbing that he's put in. We've had to kind of work around the fact that the truck was gone and getting materials and things, but you can see where the new faucet for the bathroom is going to be, and then obviously the water for the toilet line is going to be, and the vent pipes and all that fun stuff, and all the power is ran. So next he's going to be working on, after he gets the panel put in, he's going to be working on the insulation of all of the interior, or all the exterior walls, and then put up some drywall. Can we fit one more? This doesn't look OSHA approved. Hey, all right, give me a thumbs up. And you can see he's using this drywall lift to help him screw in the drywall on the ceiling. He carried these 12-foot drywall boards by himself, and so many of them. I felt bad that I wasn't able to help this day. And you can see how great his drywall is looking. So here's the inside coming from this little makeshift door that Matt made, and that will be being replaced, of course. But he's got all the drywall in, the ceilings and the walls, and started doing his mudding. And this will be the half bath. So making great progress. So to make the pumpkin spice sugar coating that we're going to roll these in, I'm going to use a half a cup of sugar, which is about 100 grams. And to that, I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. This is my little jar here that I have mixed up. And you can kind of customize that to whatever flavors you prefer. And since we want it to be a little cinnamon heavy, I'm going to use some of this Ceylon cinnamon, which is the cinnamon that has the healthy antioxidant properties. And we're going to use 1.5 teaspoons of that. And then I'm going to just use a little pinch of salt. I just pour a little in my hand. It's probably about 1/8 of a teaspoon or so. I'm going to put that in just to help balance out the sweetness. Stir it all together so it's all incorporated, and make sure that, there's sugar and cinnamon is evenly distributed. That way when we go to roll the donuts in them, it's perfectly proportioned. Oh, there was a little bit hiding from me in there. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to go ahead and take a 1/4 cup of butter, or 57 grams, and I'm going to melt this in the microwave. This is unsalted butter. If you were using salted butter, I suppose you wouldn't have to add the salt maybe to the mixture. But either way, I'm sure it'll still be delicious and your family will want to eat it. So I'm just mixing these up so they're ready to go. I'm going to cover them, that way no bugs or flies or anything gets into them, no dust, because the donuts aren't quite ready yet, because we want them to sit before we put this mixture on, otherwise it will all melt. If you wanted to do like a glaze, which I have a chocolate donut recipe that has a vanilla glaze, I will link that below, and you could put that on these donuts too. That would be delicious. Now that they're ready, we're going to let them sit in the pan for about 10 minutes before we try to release them. That way they can cool, and you can see they'll start to come away from the edge. And as you can see, they kind of just fall right out, which is one thing I love about the pan is I have not had any that I've had to dig out yet. This is the one that we filled. First of all, you can see it's overfilled, but it'll still taste exactly the same. But second, that was the one that we put in with the spoon, and then he did add a little bit more. This one looks like it's stuck, and he thought it was going to be, but you can see it pops right out. And we're going to put these on the wire rack, let them cool for probably 10 to 20 more minutes until they're cool to the touch. And then Matt's going to go ahead and brush them with butter, then roll them with the cinnamon mixture, then flip them over, brush them with butter, and roll them in the cinnamon and sugar mixture again. I'm so grateful he was able to do this for me. I was actually at a small event with my mom and sister and Haley and a couple other people, and we were actually teaching people about fresh milled wheat. So I thought that was a pretty fun experience. Thanks to my sister for setting that up, and she did a great job. So these are just about ready, and then as soon as this is done, they can be eaten and enjoyed. Thank you for following along with me today as we made these pumpkin muffins and donuts. We rolled them in some cinnamon sugary goodness. These would probably be great with powdered sugar or even without anything, or dipped in a glaze, any way that you prefer. But don't forget to give me a like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and thank you for stopping by Grains in Small Places. Goodbye.